gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to Better Pain, a wrestling podcast. I'm, of course, Phil Better, the better part of the pain, and as with me, as always, is the mistress of pain herself, Tyler.
Tyler.
I got it right. I was like, no, it's Tyler. It's Tyler. I don't want to get hurt again. Been hurt too much this weekend. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, this is a wrestling podcast for all you wrestling fanatics out there, and people who love beautiful ladies, because we have the beautiful mistress of pain with us as always. And you get to look at my beautiful face, but we know you're all here for the beautifulness of the mistress. Before we started, we do want to announce some sad news. The original Mr. Wonderful himself, Paul Orndorff, has passed away at the age of 71. He passed away peacefully, it seems, from the post that his son, and we send out his thoughts and prayers to his family. And of course, if you go over to the social media page, there is a link for a charitable donation in his name, so you guys can go check out that. But now that we've gotten some ugly news out of the way, some not fun news, not really. Mistress, how are you doing this past couple of weeks?
I have been missing everybody, and I have been missing life in general because I have been stuck behind this computer for not fun reasons of the work variety.
Yay!
So, yeah,
work!
money. But yes, I have finally freed up my schedule and got myself back on a regular track. And while I will be on site working for a few days, I at least will be working at regular hours.
That's good. That's good. That's always
Yes.
better. Working on regular hours is never fun. Trust me, I've done that route, and you have as well, as we come from the same business.
Same background.
Yes. Have you been keeping up to date with the wrestling?
I've been keeping up pretty good. I'll be honest, I have been skipping Raw and SmackDown in favor of spending my time on more interesting news.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
You're not the only one who's been having some doubts about the legitimacy of the Raw and SmackDown world, if you will. I had a pleasant conversation with one of my friends at the bar this weekend talking about some of the trash that's been going on the WWE side, and how we kind of associated it with the downfall of the WCW. Because
there was not enough competition.
Yeah, WWE got complacent. They got over bloated because there wasn't any competition. And then when the new guys came in, AEW, they're coming in with fresh, energetic stuff that the audience really wants. Like WWE, obviously, they were playing it safe because they didn't want to injure their employees, which is fully understandable. Responsibility, 100%, love it. But at the same time,
it's wrestling.
It's wrestling.
They got hurt anyway.
And your stories kind of suck if you're always having the same wrestlers. Your wrestlers are getting worn out, and you're not building up the next generation, or whenever you do try, it ends up failing because you don't know how to handle them.
That's it. I feel like they pulled out all the stops for the Attitude Era, turned it into something everybody wanted to watch, either for the wrestling or for the spectacle or for the vignettes.
And the puppies.
Or the puppies.
I'm just going to be honest. Mostly the guys were there for the puppies.
They had a flasher at an event I went to with my mother.
Same here. Funny enough, a Montreal event.
It was probably the same event.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yes.
Yeah.
Triple H and Michaels.
A little boy beside my mother looked over and said, "She showed me her boobies," and we didn't go to see wrestling anymore. But I.
Interesting.
But I was still allowed to watch it, so
a nice payoff. I can't go to the events, but I can still watch it. Given that they rarely come to Montreal anymore, especially after COVID. But yeah, it's part of life.
That's that. But basically, they bought out WCW and went back to the way they had been doing things. I mean, I feel like a leg drop has become a scary thing again, and basically the flagship shows
are useless. They're boring. They're repetitive. It's the same group of people week in, week out. I don't get to see the new guys. The only fun that I have is when R-Truth shows up, because he's R-Truth.
Because he's a delight.
He's a throwback to the Attitude Era. He's he's Hall of Famed already. Like for me, he's deserving of the Hall of Fame. I think they should just I'm glad that they gave him a championship. It's not
Mhm.
a legitimate champion. It's like the hardcore championship they gave to Mick Foley. Um,
But
but
at the end of the day, the championship is worth as much as the fans make it worth.
exactly.
And that's the only one I've been following. So I don't know how much it's not worth, but I know how much it's worth to me.
And it's pure entertainment.
Yes.
I have to say, I am enjoying the storyline between the Roman Reigns and Edge. The only
Edge
reason is
can
because
get
I'm
a
a
good
huge
story.
Edge head. I'm an
Yeah.
Edge head. He's Canadian. You know, I got to support my boy. I do like the villainous turn that Roman Reigns took. I think he's very good at doing
Mhm.
this evil. Um, it's
And let's
just
face it, Edge is a nice, fun, nasty kind of good guy.
yeah, he's a
So
guy that you can get behind when he's a face, and you can definitely get behind. He's an Austin in essence. He's like
yeah,
Austin was able to, because he's got hit a certain level of, when you hit a certain level of popularity, it doesn't matter if you go if you say face or heel, you've made your mark. And the Roman has is now at that point because he can be loved as a fan favorite, or he can be hated as the heel, because he's been able to do both. The Usos have done both because they came in as the flashy characters before, you know, there, and then they turned into the Uso Penitentiary, which I think is a more
modern.
modern take, and I like it. I can fuck with it, if you will.
I like the grit. I
Yeah.
I'm not into the fluffy bunny wrestlers other than Adam Rose
Mhm.
with bunny. I would dig that, but um in general, if you could just stick all the heels in the ring and leave the faces out of it altogether, I'd be just as happy, if I'm being perfectly honest. I don't need you to be a good guy or a bad guy fighting. I just need you to fight.
You just want pain. That's all you want. You want just the pain.
But
Um,
not the MMA Conor
no,
McGregor
that
kind, because
that
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 sucked.
So I was looking forward to this fight. Poirier is an amazing athlete. McGregor, a fan, personally my favorite. He may not be the best fighter, but he just puts on the best spectacle. And I think, unfortunately, this fight may have. I don't think it's going to end his career. I think he wants to come back and prove, but I do believe that he should take time off. Like this injury, like a broken foot, like it's a broken leg, like it broke above the ankle. It was nasty.
See, I loved McGregor, loved him. I
Mhm.
thought it was hilarious. I thought the suit and the kid with the matching suit was the best thing.
He
Super
knows how to put
tacky,
on a
and I loved
show.
it. He does. Then there was some personal scandal there, and I was like, "That's the kind of person you are. I'm not by it." So I actually had money on that fate.
Ooh.
Yeah, yes, I did. Thanks.
Thanks,
I
McGregor.
didn't.
From
I didn't want to win it that way, but you know,
Oh, so
I'll
you went
take
with
it.
the Poirier. Interesting.
Correct. Yeah, I know a fight when I see one.
Yeah, it's gonna it was if the foot the leg didn't break, there was a good chance Poirier was winning that first round. The first round went to Poirier for sure. McGregor did put up some good fights, some good battles, but I don't know if he can't. I think his main,
McGregor's best battle came from his mouth.
yeah, he's if he can get
Oh,
inside your head, you're screwed. The minute he gets inside
well,
your
yeah,
head, the fight's done.
me too. But, if I get inside your head and you go crazy, I'm still a dead person. So, I think at a certain point he needs to recognize when he's feeling unsure about a match. He maybe should focus on the match instead of focus on
Trying to
trying to
get in
unfocus his
his
opponent.
opponent. Yeah.
And maybe then he'll watch his step and not be really gross and in a whole lot of pain. Um,
Yeah, that was Andrea Silva, Sid Vicious type level of ow.
Owen
Um,
Hart did it too.
oh, even worse. I didn't know. I forgot about Owen Hart. Um, so we've discussed that WWE's main flagships, Raw and SmackDown, are gutter
Corbage.
garbage. NXT has been great because they're interesting. They allow the creative freedom that I think what gives AEW so much
Yeah.
amazingness.
I think honestly that's what's up and coming for Raw and SmackDown, but I think Vince needs to,
Step back. He needs
yeah,
to allow his creative team to actually be creative and
yeah,
not.
and be influenced by somebody with a little bit more risk personality.
I think if they give it to, like I've always said this, Triple H is the next leader of the WWE. He has the mind for it. He showed what he can do with NXT, bringing uh, basically no names, if you will, independent, pretty much named independent wrestlers, but pretty much they were unknown to the vast majority of people, and making them stars.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they didn't work in the WW the main roster, if you will, because the main roster was more soap opera instead of fantasy, which
Yeah.
NXT brings, and that's what you want with wrestling. You don't need
I don't want
modern
the
shit.
personality of boxing in my flamboyant sports entertainment.
Yeah,
I need the personality of sports entertainment in
McGregor
my
would do
sports.
amazing because he has the skills on the mic. We know he knows how to fight.
But how do
Um,
you shut him up when it's time to finish his promo?
well, you tell him. Well, that's something that they have to work on. Look, I don't know how you control McGregor, but you put him in, you make him like a Lesnar type character. He comes in, cocky as all arrogance, give him a kind of like a Floyd Mayweather versus the Big Show type thing. Who did he boxed the Big Show, right? Mayweather? I think
If he
so.
did, I never heard about it, but I'm going to pull that up.
Hold on, hold
Um,
on. Mayweather. Oh, hold on. There. Because
because
I know
I'll
he
be honest,
punched. He punched the Big Show. Yeah, he WrestleMania 24, Mayweather versus the Big Show, and he cracked the shit out of the Big Show.
yeah.
It's a Big Show, but yeah.
I mean,
So
realistically, the Big Show is tough and can take
yeah,
it. So okay, that's
I
that's who
know.
you're going to use.
I remember listening to an interview. Sorry to cut you off with the
Mhm.
Big Show talking about Mayweather, and he's like, "Look, this is what I want you to do. I want you to punch me on my nose and break it." Because Mayweather knows how to break bones with his punches. He's that incredible. He's
Mhm.
like, but the minute you do, you and all your boys scatter, just
Yeah.
fucking scatter, because I'm gonna kill you. So they're
Yes.
like, "Are you sure?" He's like, "Yes." And so in the
You
promo or
don't
leading
get
up
your
to,
nose broken without going buck wild.
yeah, so he punches him, breaks the nose, or like lands a solid nose, and he goes ape. He's chasing after Mayweather. Mayweather obviously escapes because he's the artist of escaping, and
And
then his
boxing is cardio.
yeah, and he has the cardio to run for hours probably, and like all of them get out, and he's just puts on this he's the Big Show. He scares the living crap out of everybody in the ring, and it's just amazing because it's like you can bring in McGregor in that point of view. Bring him
Mhm.
in as just a special one-off match. See how it does. Like we know it works with Ronda. It worked with Lesnar. You bring in the mouth, like he has the
Lashley.
mouth. Lashley. He comes in, he talks his talk. You have some other wrestlers who are kind of against him. So he comes in as a heel. You don't want him to come in as a face. McGregor doesn't
No,
work as a
that'd be
face.
stupid.
McGregor works as a heel kind of face. Like he's
Yeah.
already so popular that if he comes in, they're gonna cheer him and boo him. But you put him against another heel that doesn't like the fact, like the Miz,
That
if
doesn't
you
like the
will.
competition.
Yeah, you know, like the Miz. You put him against the Miz, give him a Miz can make anybody look great. We've already established
Yeah.
that. Put him against McGregor. They have a great wrestling match. Obviously, McGregor's going to win because it's McGregor. You have to, and then you can see whether or not he has the ability to continue if you can follow the set rules in the WWE. But that all depends on what happens next with UFC.
Here's the flaw in that plan, though.
I don't like flaws.
Miz won't take a dirty fight, and McGregor doesn't know how to fight clean. Miz isn't in there getting hurt.
Hmm.
So you need somebody in there who's willing to take a risk, which means you're probably going to stick him in there against Mysterio.
See, with Mysterio, they don't line up as a great fight because Mysterio he's an amazing wrestler, but he doesn't know how to carry a match.
He doesn't ever have to be the one to carry a match 'cause he's a Louis.
Yeah, and that's why you can't put him against McGregor, because McGregor's never
Exactly.
had a match. So you need someone like Miz who's able to carry a match.
Who won't
You
take
can
the match? Maybe Daniel Bryan will.
He's gone.
Oh, thank God. I just thought I was having a good day.
No. As far as I know, he's left. But yeah, you can find there's a you can't put him against Roman Reigns because then
Not
that
Ziggler.
damages Roman Reigns and it's not a good matchup. Even though Reigns could carry a match with McGregor, it's not. You don't want to put him against Drew McIntyre because that's
The
hurting
size difference is too ridiculous and it
it's too
hurts
different,
McGregor.
obviously McIntyre needs to lose, and you don't want McIntyre to lose. You can't put him against Bobby Lashley because he's outside the range. Damian Priest maybe, but Damian Priest is kind of on the up and up. And do you really want to get him involved in another celebrity style match after coming off
Stick
the
him
Bad
in with
Bunny?
Karrion Kross.
No, I don't
That
want to
would
damage Karrion
be
Kross that much.
beautiful. I
Obviously,
don't
Karrion
think
Kross
there's
would
any damage coming. Yeah.
destroy McGregor if
I
it
think
was
it
an
would be a
actual
good fight. I
a
don't
fight.
know how much it would matter who won in that one.
Yeah, but
Because
could Karrion
McGregor is
Kross carry the fight?
believable. I think that if he grabbed McGregor up and threw him around a little bit, that'd be carrying it enough. I don't think
Emily,
anybody needs to carry McGregor. He's a fighter.
I
He can
think I have
fight.
the perfect match. Perfect match. Finn Balor.
I think if he
Irish versus
stood
Irish.
I think if he stood with that stupid grin beside Conor McGregor, I'd piss on that match.
You
I
don't like the
love
Prince?
Finn Balor. I love him. Love him. I don't know why he stands centered, facing, grinning in his photos. Like, what are you doing? You're a wrestler. I know you're happy to be there, but let's
He's
pretend
having
we've been
fun.
here a while.
He's having fun because he's the Prince. He's the
He's
Prince.
okay, but he's not the Prince of fucking pearly whites.
Well, he is. Do you see it? Look, if you see
Okay,
his wife,
granted,
have you seen his wife? Like, I would be smiling like a fool if I had his wife.
between his wife and his teeth, I'd be showing them off too. But like, yes, somewhere else.
He's not a heel, though. He's not your
You
typical
need to do
heel.
one photo a week that's kind of intimidating.
He doesn't have to.
Like,
He doesn't have to. He's not an intimidating fellow. Like, look, if he comes up to me,
he
he's like,
should be. He's the demon,
he's no longer the demon. He's the Prince.
which they need to bring back because I love the theatrics.
So he's actually commented on the reason why he's given. He mentioned this. This was with Karrion Kross, I
Oh,
believe it was, that the demon represented the emotional aspect of wrestling, and now he's controlled his emotions, and that's why he's now the Prince.
and he's happy about it.
And he's happy about
So
it.
happy.
He's always smiling.
Yeah.
I do want to just mention something. I don't know if you've seen this recently. Speaking of like MMA stars and that, but Lesnar has a ponytail.
Stop it.
No. I have to show you this picture. I'm going to share it on the screen right now.
I'm excited. I
It
hate
is.
Lesnar, but I'm excited about this. I feel like it has some character.
This is Lesnar. This is over on cage side seats. Here's his ponytail.
He's got a man bun.
He's got a man bun, but also look at how ferocious he looks with that beard that he's got going on.
With that saw, is he butchering a cattle?
Yeah, he's cutting up some meat. He's doing a meat. Ponytail bra carves meat and somewhat more than terrifying. It is terrifying. Look, let's play this thing.
Yeah, I'm a vegetarian, for the record.
Like, you're a vegetarian, yeah. But that is just pure terrifying right there. Lesnar with a man bun, and I think he should keep it. I think he should keep the man bun and the beard.
Actually. Yes, the beard
come
is good.
back.
Beard stays.
He could come back as a face, I think. If he kept that, he could come back as a face.
I don't think I'd want him to.
He would have to come.
He'd have to come back and do like nicey nice stuff. This is Lesnar.
It's true.
It's not what we buy him for.
It's not what we buy him for. I like that. We didn't buy you to be nice, Lesnar. We buy you to be
I pay him
evil.
a lot of money, and have you seen the price of wrestling tickets lately?
No, because it's expensive.
Correct. It takes a lot of accepted drinks to get somebody to buy you wrestling tickets. That's why I go see the indies. Very reasonable. Very reasonable. And if it's your birthday, they let you in the back door.
Ooh. Well, what back door are we talking about? Moving on.
Take care, leave it.
We're going to talk about Money in the Bank because it is coming up this weekend.
Mhm.
We have
Very
a couple of
exciting.
matches that I want your opinion on,
Mhm.
and we'll see there. We have Bobby Lashley versus Kofi Kingston for the WWE Championship. What do you think? Do you think Kofi has a chance?
I think Kofi would have a better match with a broomstick.
Yes.
Um, remind me to tell you about the history and birthing of Bobby Lashley's terror eyes later. But I think it'll be a surprisingly good match. Actually, I hope Kofi has a chance, but I'm going to be realistic, WWE realistic,
Mm-hmm.
because we are talking about wrestling. Um, I don't think Lashley is on the decline yet, and I don't think they want to take all those muscles out of their main picture yet.
Yeah.
Not even for the thrill of watching Kofi.
Yeah.
So realistically, Bobby Lashley retains, but Kofi does all the things because he does all the things, and that's what he does. But
And MVP
yeah,
is there as well, so you have to watch out for that. I hate MVP. He's a good heel.
Lashley stealing his cane and then not giving it back.
Poor
I
MVP.
loved him. I loved him the first time around.
Loved it. And you just
Yeah.
adored it the third and fourth time you watch it. We have also Roman Reigns, like we talked about, versus Edge. And I have a feeling Edge is going to win.
You know what? I don't know that they would let somebody else win over Roman, so I'm gonna have to agree with you there. I think he's gonna win. I think it's gonna be a relatively short match for whatever reason. I just have a feeling. Um, I don't. Um, I see it being somewhat of a letdown, if I'm being honest.
Ooh, interesting. Interesting.
Mhm.
And then we have Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair, a rematch from Hell in a Cell, which Ripley won by disqualification. I'm interested in seeing this rematch. I know they're going to have, it's going to be, I have a feeling Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair is going to be Austin versus The Rock style from the Attitude Era. Multiple rematches, teaming up, breaking apart because they have that energy. I feel that
Yeah,
energy. As long as everyone stays healthy in that, I can feel these two go teaming up or battling each other because they are just phenomenal athletes and they're entertaining as all hell.
I hope they don't team them up. I'm not
Not
a
right away.
fan.
I'm talking like how Austin and The Rock teamed up later on in the career.
Yeah. Um, I was more a fan of how McFoley and Austin teamed up.
Well, they don't have a Mick Foley in the women's league yet. They have
And
Nikki
and
Cross, which could
see,
play
that's
that.
what's missing. But Asuka actually is A, hilarious, B, ready to do anything.
Anything?
And I don't know that Mick Foley really stands so high above her potential. So um,
No, Oscar is amazing. Like you said,
and crazy.
100% crazy. It would be she could be someone else's Mick Foley. Like she can be anyone's Mick Foley type deal. That like the comedic stick to the straight lace, the straight shooter. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see that. Then we have the men's Money in the Bank with a full list of competitors. We got Drew McIntyre, Riddle, John Morrison, Ricochet, Kevin Owens, Big E, Kingsuke Nakamura because he's a king. We have to
Hmm.
remember that, and then Seth Rollins.
They're not giving it to Shinsuke or Kingsuke because for some reason they don't love him.
I don't understand. They
I
have
don't
a
get it. Now that I've got the mohawk, we are definitely doing cosplay Shinsuke. It's coming. Wait for it.
you can do it on your Instagram or on the secret website that we're starting to set up for you that we're not allowed to
100,
talk about yet.
100%. And my hair is naturally curly, so we're going full out. It's gonna be awesome. Um,
I
but realistically, I'm gonna go with Drew. John Morrison is really that guy they put into all of those group matches to do some crazy stuff and then, be like,
pray to God he doesn't injure himself. Morrison and Ricochet will be the probably the ones taking the biggest bumps. Big E's just there to be the more powered kind of
be
probably the
lovely.
be lovely and be that powerhouse against Drew McIntyre to show the power that both of them have. Kevin Owens is just probably going to go after Seth Rollins, and they're going to continue their hatred of each other. But I can see either Drew or Seth winning the champion, getting the Money in the Bank. I have a feeling it's going to be either one. Riddle's
No,
not ready. He's still
no.
U.S. champion or
He's
intercontinental champion level. He's not up there yet.
and they're keeping him too goofy.
Yeah, he needs a bit more seriously for main event championship, but mid level championship he's perfect for. He could rule the midweights easily with his character and his skills.
I
But
honestly think his character is one that doesn't need a belt.
yeah,
I mean,
he's
Undertaker, we're not comparing Riddle to Undertaker,
no,
but
never.
just
But
for example, he had no belt for what, 10, 15 years?
for a long
And then
period of time,
yeah, and then out of nowhere, they were like, "Hey, he never had a belt," and I was like, "What?
let's let's
He
just
never
give him a
needed
belt.
it. He just" like, I miss the days where you could just go in and beat somebody up every weekend.
Yeah, but because WWE forgets that, that's why. Then we have the so we're calling. You're saying Drew's taking it.
I'm saying Drew.
Yeah, I say Drew or Seth. I would be Kevin is a third, a very close
Kevin would
third
be
for me.
my second and Seth would be my third, just because Seth had a really cool take a few years ago where he used the ropes to springboard halfway up the ladder and then shot up the rest of the way and took it. I believe Cesaro was on the other side of the ladder, but it could have been someone else. I may be pulling things out of nowhere. Um, but it was a thing of beauty. It was for once somebody not dragging themselves
Yeah,
all the
I I,
way
I
up,
want
and it
I
was
don't
special.
want oh my god, he's barely
Yeah,
doing it. Can he do it? No, I want fresh, kind of like the energy is there.
yeah.
So yeah, it's for me it's Drew, Seth, and Kevin. As much as I love Owens, I the WWE seems to not like him as much. But yeah, those are my top three picks for winning the men's in Money in the Ladder match. And you're going with Drew, Kevin, and Seth. So we're in the same way. Now the women's competitors. This is an interesting story. Sonya Deville has been playing whoever she wants, powerhouse. But we have Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, former teammates, Naomi, who's always amazing in the room, the always entertaining Asuka,
Mhm.
and then Zelina Vega, who was 2 weeks ago just added to the
Yeah.
match, as well as Carmella. But Carmella is being replaced because she's getting a title shot this week on SmackDown.
Uh-huh.
And my one of my personal favorites in the female division, Liv Morgan. It not only is because she's
I love
gorgeous and cute, but her energy and her style of wrestling is so fun to watch. It's just going to be interesting to see. I see Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross getting into it, with Nikki's trying to save Alexa because she's playing the superhero, similar to the Hurricane, and Alexa Bliss being the Fiend reincarnated, or at least Sister Abigail reincarnated. So I'm interested to see who are the two other named competitors. Who do you think is going to be named?
That's a tough one, but they do seem to be pushing, I c
Naomi.
not Naomi, I wanna say, what's her name with Doudrop? She used
Oh,
to be All Red Everything, yeah,
Eva
Eva Marie.
Marie, Eva Marie.
Yeah. I don't know why I couldn't think of it, but I feel like she's going to be named, and it's going to be Doudrop? Really? But anyways, Piper Niven. I feel like she's gonna go in and get
Win for
the
Eva.
win for Eva.
Eva or Eva, however you pronounce her name. Okay.
I feel like that's a thing. I feel like every year they throw some kind of mischief into the women's Money in the Bank, and that seems right up there with it.
Yeah, I can see them pulling. Like the first year was it was the man with who, if you have two fists you can fight. Can't remember his name.
Yeah,
Then
that
you had what happened last year? You every year there's some kind
every
of
year there's some
controversy.
nonsense.
Yeah, some
Like they
controversy.
just can't let it be what it
No.
is. Which is fine. Throw contro it's wrestling, throw controversy in. Like make people gossip. It's all money. Um, but yeah, I feel like that's the little toss of garbage that's going to end up there, and then Eva Marie is going to have the uh, the title shot, and then Dewdrop is going to win the title, and it's going to walk around on Prancy McGee. So That's that.
So I want to touch on some things just as we close up because there is some more news here. We have Jimmy Uso again arrested for his another DUI, but it looks like WWE is not going to do anything, no punishment, which is interesting. Um, the reason why is because apparently they have something that's planned. It's too important and they don't want to screw it up. They're building to the main event angle involving The Rock at WrestleMania next year, and Jimmy is playing a part in that. So we may see Rock at WrestleMania next year.
Cool.
Um,
Not like he's gonna fight though, so
he may fight.
I'd be surprised, but delighted.
Yeah, I wouldn't. He could come in for a simple match, like it could be a tag match. It could be a
Or he
family
could
match.
come in because he's the head of the table.
Yeah, he could come in and say, "Yo, you ain't the head of the table. I'm the head of the table." And then there's this little bigger match, and then The Rock
Does The
retires.
Rock. Yeah.
Does the Rock sells the match to Insane, but then who comes in to take over the table? But Roman, thanks to the Usos, and The
Mhm.
Rock can have his, retirement match, if you will, for the next 5 years, and then come back and just win it like Edge or something. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting week in wrestling. You have Lesnar carving up the world in a scary ponytail and beard. You have some weirdness going on at the wrestling world, so there's that. But
And we have Malachi Black, who made
oh
a
yes, I forgot about that. Malachi
Can't
Black.
forget Malachi. I love that name. Um, quite the entrance.
Taking out
Very
the nightmare.
like. Very like. I like the white contact. I like the side of the face all messed up. Um, and I especially like that it works in with the little tattoo of the cross that he has under his eye that gets all smudged up in the makeup and looks pretty, dark. And you're not sure if it's upside down or right side up. And well, realistically, I never was sure, so that's fine. Um, I'm looking forward to who he feuds with first, and apparently, based on who he kicked in the teeth, it's going to be Cody Rhodes,
Which is a great, great matchup.
who I adore. There was that moment where he had the mustache that made me wonder what he did to children, but it's gone now, so we're okay. We're back okay. I'm loving the tattooed look. I'm loving the style. I'm loving
The nightmare. He embraced what his father was, the dream, Dusty
I'm
Rhodes.
loving the crossroads. I love it. I
It's
love
gonna be
everything
great.
about him, and I'm very much looking forward to that.
He is off to a phenomenal start. I am looking forward to more of Malachi Black in AEW because I have a feeling that it's only a matter of time before AEW just hits that one match that just explodes across all new
Yeah,
media, and it's the nail in the coffin for the WWE. I feel it's
and
coming.
given that
Um,
their ratings were as low as they've ever been this last week.
yeah, it's only a matter of time. WWE is going to have to do something pretty drastic to get the viewers back in because their content is getting stale and there's much more access to better wrestling out there. You have AEW, you have Impact Wrestling, you have New Japan Wrestling, you have the Indies coming back finally.
And they're stepping it up. Like, these guys have been training.
Yeah, they I know for the fact that when we go to the show for
The unsanctioned for
the
IWF.
unsanctioned, it's these people are going to be putting on a show for us because no one has seen live wrestling in so long in Montreal that they just want to blow the freaking roof off.
And Unsanctioned's only coming, it's their third event that they've announced. So we have Blood, Sweat, and Beers coming before that, and another one that I can't remember the name of. And not to mention, they just opened a second gym, fully equipped with, if I may say, I'm not any kind of specialist on equipment, but it looks pretty sweet in there. Um,
Did you get a
it's all
product for it from Manny?
soon. We're in the works.
Ooh,
Yes, we are.
looking forward to that.
That's what happens when you reach out when it's your birthday and you say, "It's my birthday. Can I spend a little bit more to get front row seats?" And he's like, no, I'll let you in the back."
There you go.
And then you become friends. And that's how that's it. That's how we became friends.
I'm looking forward to it. I love your friendship with Manny. I'm looking forward to meeting Manny, interviewing Manny on the show. But we are coming to the end. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Phil Better, the podcast mogul. She is the mistress of pain, Taylor. And you can follow us where?
On Instagram, I am the _mistress _ pain. And you are the podcast mogul, Phil Better.
Yes, and to be followed at podcaster Phil Better on Instagram. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Better Pain. We love you so much. Make sure you go through a table this week, or at least take a chair shot to the back. Stay away from the kendo sticks, though. Those hurt.
And watch your step.
Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen.